Howdy, this is Mackenzie Franklin from SideGameLLC here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to organize Teotihuacan, City of the Gods, with all of its expansions in a single box with no lid lift. With that being said, let's dive in. First off, we lift off the top here and we can see some pieces already organized. So on the top here, we have all of the god powers from the expansion, and they're mixed in with all of the starting components and seasons because you're going to want to be using these every game. I personally think that the god powers are really fun, giving you a path to follow, and these seasons add for some really cool variety. You've also got your tokens for the Avenue of the Dead, as well as the multiplier markers, the turn order markers, the eclipse markers, and lastly, you've got a token in here for the first player marker. I borrowed a token from Pax Pamir because they have that upgraded version with the colored in markers, so I thought this one fit really well, having that nice circle pattern. It reminds me of the eclipse as a nice way to say, hey, don't forget, it's your job to move the eclipse. So you give that one to the last player. So that's all in that initial bag. Now, as you can see, we also have some other bags with some custom artwork. So these are actually going to be from the Board Game Geek store, and I really like these because in this game, every time you set up, you're going to be doing things randomly. So inside here, you're going to be randomly pulling out the different science tiles, and you'll pick 6 of those every game. You'll have your own little player bags, which are super nice, so you can easily see which color you'll be using. You've got this random draw bag for your blue tokens, super nice. And that way you have something to pull from, so you don't need to make any stacks and kind of pull from them from the game. You can always just have that there. You've got the randomized god tiles, and I'm not going to keep opening these because what they are is on the outside here. You've got your starting tiles in here. You've got your decorations, your key tiles, and then this nice bag for all of those big clacky wooden pieces. And it fits the promo tiles just fine. You got a huge bag with a big open area so you can easily grab stuff. So I really like the bags from the Board Game Geek store. I'd highly recommend them. In here you've got a QR code that reads for the expansion content for the rules. Silica gel, just keep everything nice, fresh, and not humid. You've got these plastic containers. These are 10 for $1 at Dollar Tree. And inside, you're going to lift them, and it's got all your resources. I really like these. They make their own little trays, and you can just prop them up, and they're ready to go just like that. So this is going to have all your main resources, your gold, your stone, and your wood. So those all fit really nicely in here. On the right here, we have some other style of organizers, and these are going to hold your tokens. These are for the cacao. Now, I really like the Geek Up bits, so I like to get them when I can, and this one is a pretty solid one for the 5s, as well as for the 1s for the bits here. So if you really enjoy this game, I would definitely recommend splurging on these. They're just really nice to feel. So this game already is very deluxeified, so I think it's a great choice to really put that last step in. On the left here, you have the components for the Solo AI. So this has his little pyramid tiles and his personalized tiles here. In addition, you can use these dice if you want to randomize selection, where you're not having to pull from another bag. And then right here, you're going to have all of the different boards stacked up. These are for the different action spaces on the left. And then you have the main game board, as well as all of the rule books. And on the very bottom, you have the additional board for the last temple track, the orange temple. And that's everything. Let's go ahead and pack it up. So first off, we have the orange temple track. We've got our rule books. We've got our board. We've got all our mini boards. That way we can randomize the order of those. We've got all these solo components. We've got our cacao bits. We've got our small bins for those bits. We've got our silica gel packet and our rules reminder for the promos. And then we've got the bags, and we can just start putting those in so that they fit nicely. There's no real crazy order to how you're going to be putting those away. The only thing you want to make sure that you have is a nice flat area for these tiles and for your starting stuff. And one thing you can do is kind of put them side by side in this larger bag. That way they do sit nice and flat on top of everything else. but everything else can kind of just fill in the spaces, because honestly, when you start this game, you're just going to be starting to pull out bags and just start grabbing your random resources for that random setup. That way you can get started as soon as possible. So with everything else, you just kind of pat it down so that it fits nicely. Everything is pretty flat generally, and everything will fit nicely in. Ooh, got a couple stragglers hanging in there. And that is organizing Teotihuacan. If you have any questions about what you saw here, please let me know. If you have any comments or things that you'd like to see organized in the future, please let me know. I hope some of you found this useful. Thanks so much for watching. Side Game Strong.